Oh yeah, we find a way to dance still to the different theme music.
Yeah, you got to dance like powerfully though when you do with that one.
Yeah.
It's not like the head bopping other one, which
grooving.
Yeah, which hopefully we can get in touch with the guy, and I would really like to continue using that music, but we got to get in touch with him because supposed to be royalty free, wasn't, whatever. Happy to pay him, but I can't read the language on his website, so having a little trouble with that one. Not sure what language it is. Anyway, welcome to another episode of Indie Invasion Shorts. We are so glad that you guys have decided to take a little bit of time out of your Wednesday night or whatever night farther down the road you decide to listen to this on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you decide you're going to check it out. Thank you for joining us. We are always happy that you do. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, depending on where you are. It all depends. Push the buttons.
Push all the buttons.
Push the buttons that say more information. Good morning, Alder. We are happily having our cup of coffee with our good friend Alder, all the way from Australia.
Clink.
That's right. Clink, clink. And today we have, do you think I should start out with the desk?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So
maybe I'll give them a hint of what we're talking about before we say what it is.
Okay, so I've been working really hard, and if anybody's been on Discord or anything, you will have seen this. But I want to show you currently what my desk looks like. It could be considered shameful, but there's Mr. Todd, the fastest 30 minutes in gaming. There you go. Look at that. We got some family size oops all berries.
Look at that.
Paint rolling around. We get scissors and it's a mess right now. But there's a reason that it's a mess. What's that reason? Well, actually, we're kind of segueing into that and later into it. But what are we talking about tonight, Eric?
Well, tonight, so this mess on his desk kind of started tonight. What we're going to talk about is kind of two things. We're going to start with basing your minis, and then we're going to segue into his mess. Basing your minis. Do you like to make a diorama out of the base, which sometimes I used to do?
Yep.
You make it a little statue.
Yep.
Or, it makes it a special type of mini. Or are you a basic flock, put some gravel on there just to get it onto the table?
With a little goblin green around the edge.
A little ring of green, so you know which unit it is and stuff like that. So those are some of the, stuff we're going to talk about. We'll go over some ideas for basing. And
definitely.
You know what? Speaking of basing, I got to jump right into it, Mac, and I gotta put you on the spot here.
Wait, no, don't do it yet. I got to say hi to Mike. Hey, Mike. Okay, now you can.
Now, I kind of I'm calling it an elephant in the room because you're one of the very few people, and I know a lot of people do this, and some people may see this and wonder why people do this. So I want to jump right into the talk with this.
Okay.
Mac does clear bases. So I see other people do it, but very rarely. Now, what I want to ask is, where did you see this? When did you start doing this, and why? Because there's probably people that want to know why.
Where did I see it? I don't remember where I saw it, and I'm not sure I saw it anywhere. And I started doing it a long time ago. So I started playing 40K way back in 2nd edition. That's when I started playing 40K. Quit for a while, and then when I got out of the service and moved back to South Carolina, I started playing again, and I started playing my orcs.
Okay.
And I built these really cool, like, red alien bases, and I was using toothpicks for spikes, and they were just really cool bases. I built a whole table to match it, and then I realized I just built the whole table to match all my bases. I was like, that's weird. So then I had a particular model. I had a table set up in my house, and I was working on a model. He didn't have a base, but he was one of those, like, perfect models that you could stand up by himself. So I set him on the table, and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks epic. that looks so cool, because he was just standing on the table. And I was like, okay, how can I do this? So I started hunting around, and I didn't know about my very good friend, Kenneth Litko at Litko Acrylic.
Okay.
I did not know about him at the time. So I found some stuff on eBay, but it turned out it was slightly curved. So I had all kinds of problems. And that's why I started doing it, was because I loved the idea of my models and being able to see the terrain.
Yeah.
To see the terrain that I had built. I still like doing the fancy bases, but I liked to be able to see it. And I really liked it when I finally got my mob of 50 boys based on clear bases and had them on the table. And it was just this massive orcs with no bases that you could see. Yeah. And it looked so cool. So that was why I started with that. Like Alder says, I agree with most things Mac does, terrain, games, minis, but doesn't like clear bases. That's okay. That's okay, because the funny thing about me putting my guys on clear bases is that I like themed bases. I like to build them.
Mm-hmm.
I put my minis on them.
I mean, basing now, clear bases is just one option that you have, but yeah, building, getting in depth to your base and making it like that standout piece in your force, like many ways, that's like terrain building. You're just doing it on that little small, scale, and it can really help your mini get, I guess
shot at on the table.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as long as the rest of the terrain on the table matches, it blends. He feels like he belongs there. But like you're saying with the clear, you can put it on any table, and he'll look like he's supposed to be there. Yeah. So that's why a lot of people do that.
And I think it's interesting that people build these big, awesome bases, and I think they're gorgeous. I love them. Okay, I'm not opposed either way to what people do. I love them. But I think it's funny because nowadays when rule books come out, they talk about that in a lot of rule books. They'll say, you can't target this person just because they built a fancy base on them. And I just think that's funny. Jim said, Jim, tabletop engineer, what's happening, buddy? So glad you're here. Do they make non-glare see-through bases? I don't know. I don't think mine have a whole lot of glare, but I'm going to pay close attention in my next game of whether or not they do. Right now, because of COVID and the fact that we don't have a game store around here, a nice coat of dust on top of them really knocks the glare off, because most of mine have a nice coat of dust right there on the top of it. So, when taking photos, they give off a shine. Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, like Todd says here, dull coat fixes that usually. You just put a little bit on that and knocks down the shine.
Yeah, but you got to make sure that you use a brush on, because if you spray it, it will fog the acrylic. Yeah, every time it'll always fog the acrylic. So Mike says clear bases allow the terrain to show through. When you base otherwise, your base may not match the table, and one of the things people talk about is immersion. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Eric. I know that's where we were headed down that road.
That's where we were talking, was immersion. So we're gonna go to your basic basing, which you want to make that immersion. So other basing ideas, material. What are some material we would use? Like cork, sand, static grass. Those are the basics.
Cork.
Yeah, he's got a big old thing of cork,
Always cork.
And that's great for making the rock, so your model can get immersed into your environment. I like using like wood chip and sticks and gravel that I can steal from my neighbor's driveway.
You better hope your neighbor doesn't watch. Yeah, and Adam said foam. So definitely foam. I think I got a chunk on my desk here somewhere.
I mean, I like using that stuff because it's it's organic. It's stuff from nature. So you have that natural look on the model's base.
Oh, okay. Adam threw one up, and I am 2,000% on board.
Oh, yeah. We were just talking about this the other day.
Just the other night. Clay kitty litter. You can get a big old bag of it at the Dollar Tree. And the best thing about it is, since it's designed to absorb moisture, when you soak that bad, he
heard you talking about kitty litter.
I hope he doesn't follow through with where the rest of that kitty litter conversation can go.
Oh man!
But since the kitty litter is made to absorb anyway, when you slather on your now I'm totally derailed, right? When you slather on your watered down PVA glue, it just soaks right into that and turns rock hard. Yeah, Adam said he got 50 pounds 10 years ago and still have most of it. I know I threw my last one away because I stopped doing real big.
Just absorb the moisture from the air.
Yeah, it was just one big kitty litter chunk. It was like a 2,000 millimeter base.
Now, a lot of times when you use stuff like that in the sand, though, you just got to remember that to help it stay on your base, use some kind of PVA glue, like a water down, just to seal it. It locks it in place. So, and I mean, I think still sometimes you will get that odd little bit here and there.
Yeah.
That's one of the downsides of doing like a big extravagant base is, you get static grass and stuff coming off of it.
Or when you drop them.
Yeah.
And there's little detritus all around him, which is pieces of your beautiful base that you made. So but you can use Mod Podge too. You don't have to just use watered down PVA. I have similar to Jeremy from Black Magic Craft. He has his black one, and I keep a white one of matte that's already mixed and watered down so that I can use it. Talcum powder works good too. Baking soda is another great one for doing stuff on bases. I'll tell you one that actually creates a really nice effect on a base when you're doing it on smaller bases is rubber cement. Mm-hmm. So you can use rubber cement, and that's kind of like a cheap water effect.
I like using wall spackle actually too.
Oh yeah, the Dollar Tree drywall mud all day long is great stuff. But here I'm trying to look for stuff again. So on the bases, with one of the things I used to do with if I wanted the cheap water effect and had rubber cement, because as some of you may know, a lot of the times your family that knows you build models buys you rubber cement, and you're like, I need super glue. But thank you so much for the 6 tubes of rubber cement that I got. So to use it, I would cut a hole in the base and then put a piece of cardboard on the bottom of it, and then have a little divot in the base, and you could fill that with rubber cement, and it just kept a nice nice look to that. It was cheap water effect basically is what it ended up being. Oh, we got all kinds of stuff here.
I know. I'm trying to keep up with them.
Alder likes the theme bases. Minis all in one faction have the same style base. Yeah, it does. It definitely draws them together. There's no doubt about that. All right, I'll let you get Jim's.
I do that with my Wild West Exodus. I'll come up with just a single theme, and like all my outlaws, they're in the Badlands. So I use like a rubber stamper tool with green stuff. Yeah. So all their bases look like that Badlands.
Yeah, I have a couple of those stamps as well.
So yeah, Jim's talking about he doesn't use a lot of Citadel stuff, but their texture paints are awesome. Yes, they are. I like they have one that's like for doing like a cracked, dried earth.
Yeah, the Martian earth is what it is.
Yeah, and as it dries, it just kind of cracks and gives you that look of the. Yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah, with a lot of their contrasts work really good on the bases too when you're trying to get effects. Hot glue makes a great effect if you're trying to do lava or gross Nurgle kind of slime or anything like that. So you can use hot glue. It's just, you can use everything. Cardboard. We'll talk about that in a minute. But cardboard, you can use that too to do layered stuff. Oh, Jim, the terrain tutor, he knows all about layering that cardboard and making stuff look awesome, because I was just watching one of his videos today about him doing that. So it was an old video, but I went ahead and clicked like, because I hadn't clicked like yet, but I think it was from before I knew him. So I'm safe, I think, on that one.
So with all these ideas, of course, there's a good side and a bad side, and it's kind of your preference, what you like. So good side, they're little statues to display, kind of show off your number one painted mini that you have.
That drawing it all together, having that cohesive look to your squad, unit, army, whatever the case may be. that's definitely one of the pluses, because that's true, man. It always looks good. And so for me, when I walk in, say, if I go down to Discover Games and I see the guys have all of their 40K armies out, and there's, 900 miniatures in one army, and they all have the same bases, that looks awesome. Mm-hmm. But in my mind, just because this is me, you guys don't have to like that. But then they put them on the table, and they're fighting on a jungle planet. And they have desert bases, and then I go, oh, I don't like that. But that, again, that's just me.
Yeah, that's the one downside of that. But like, I think here's a segue, Mac. So it's very similar and fun, like terrain building, right?
Yes.
So you can really get into it and kind of start to tell a story where that model is.
Right.
Very much like our terrain. So we like building terrain.
We love building terrain.
And we kind of wanted to touch a little bit on terrain tonight also. We're going to split tonight's with some mini basing and then table basing, right?
Oh, I love that. I love that. So now I can tell people that I really do like basing my miniatures.
It's just larger scale.
Right. My base is between 2x2 and 6x4. So it's just a much larger base. That's it. I am running with that one. I love basing my miniatures. Perfect. It's perfect. I love it.
And we just kind of
go ahead.
We basically wanted to just go over some easy terrain ideas, right? Because we've had people ask us about that.
Cheap,
easy and cheap.
Because I'm cheap, because I would much rather spend my money on miniatures than I would on terrain. We got one more base item from Alder. Let's see. Okay. A thing that makes a good base is texture, hard and soft. For example, Twisted Minis have hard stone floor, but to soften it up, add some leaves or a small tuft of grass in the cracks. Yeah, that's
very good. I like idea.
That. I'm not that smart to have, or artistic to have figured that, like hard and soft and warm and cold colors. And that's blue and red.
That's some Zen stuff right there that he whipped out on.
I'm like, they're the same temperature. I don't understand. They don't feel any different. What are you talking about? But so cheap. And the thing is when you try to build stuff cheap, I guarantee you that you already have most of the stuff available to build with.
Yeah, do you want to see his desk again?
Just junk around the house. All right, fine. I'll show my desk again. That's only because I was building like right up to the last point of us starting. Look at that. Yes, that's awesome. Look at that wonderful mess. So for cheap stuff, zip ties. Got some Oops All Berries.
It's just cardboard.
It's just cereal box cardboard, and everybody loves cereal. And this one, Eric and I were talking about, Cat 5 cable. 25 years ago, you would have had to pay to get this. Anymore, probably all of you have.
I could probably go pull some out of my rafters.
Right? You have probably 6 or 7 short ones from when the internet company came to your house for whatever. Old wire. Anything. Oh, the thing I really wanted to show as far as cheap was this one. I love this one. So this, what did Mike say? Mike said, ideas for terrain started with old White Dwarf magazines. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I built one of the deodorant grav tanks. That was the thing that attracted me the most to 40K when it initially. You have the White Dwarf that has it in it.
Right there. That whole shelf.
You dog. But yeah, that's exactly what it is, man. It's about just making it out of whatever, because the cheaper it is, the more likely someone is to build it. So like these, okay? These are periodically at the Dollar Tree. They kind of come and go at the Dollar Tree. I don't know what dollar store you guys have in Australia, Alder. You'll have to throw that in and let us know if you guys have a I'm sure you do, because Dollar Trees,
Dollar General,
they reproduce without even anyone knowing about it. They just start popping up all over the place. But anyway, these are $1, or you can get them at Walmart for like $2. Yeah. So it's just a little box, and until you decide to use it,
Jim.
Until you decide to use it, okay. Until you decide to use it, you can carry junk in it. I'm going to throw that over there.
I still got some of those probably around from college that I used as a shower caddy.
Right. Yeah, and Alder's right too. He said back then you didn't have companies that were making terrain. If you wanted terrain, you had to make something.
Yeah,
there were a couple. I think GeoHex was still around, and they were doing stuff for BattleTech. So you had the hills with the gentle slopes that connected together, so you could build different stuff. But it was all on that really awesome. Every planet in the Imperium was a green, verdant field.
Yeah, these are
every planet. That's why you were goblin green, right?
These are all basically ideas. So not every table has the 2 hills on it, right?
Right, exactly. So with that $1 box and a box of cereal, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different terrain pieces for my table. And you can see, and if you're listening on the podcast, you can see if you go to the YouTube channel.
Yep.
So bam, you can't see this stuff right now. I'm sorry. I'm trying to show you on Podbean, but you got to go to YouTube. But layering the cardboard, just let me get a better one. I'm not done with that one. So that one's got a little better layering, but just layering the cardboard on top of each other. And I'll post pictures of this stuff in the Discord when I prime it, because I'm out of black primer, so I wasn't able to get that part done. But just all of that little kind of stuff, sticks, dowels from Walmart, all together, I would say this is Dollar Tree piece of foam and the sticks and the dollar caddy. At most, these 8 pieces of terrain, or 7, however many I said I had, cost $1.
Yeah.
And so I love to have cheap terrain, because for those people that are listening that have been to my game room, I like cheap terrain because I really, really, really like terrain a whole lot. And I have a whole lot of terrain. So I can't.
That you usually once a year have a fire sale, right?
It's not even a sale. I'm like, please come to my house and get terrain, because I have to make more stuff. Just if you show up, you're going home with something. I had a guy drive 4 hours to get a piece of terrain.
I'm looking to see if I had your little huts sitting around. I had them sitting around when I was still upstairs.
Oh, yeah, which one's the little wigwams that I made?
Yeah.
Okay, so those were out of ripped cardboard. Those were, in fact, a school project. Hey, look who stopped by. The mastermind and planner extraordinaire of Urban Manhunt. Hello, Cynthia. Everyone say hello to Cynthia. Hello, Cynthia.
We'll watch the chat go crazy now.
But the creator of Urban Manhunt, which incidentally, all of this terrain I made for $3, all of these pieces, perfect for Urban Manhunt, with the busted up buildings, good cover. And I was making these for Necromunda because I was working on this today. That's why my desk is a mess, is because of this. And the same thing applies here. So, I got like these little things right here are those color-based things from my Zombicide, because I hate those. I don't like the game piece thing. So I got a big box of them that I use for stuff. I've got the end of the Cat 5 cable. I've got all the Cat 5 cable right here running through this piece. Little Dollar Tree toys and more Captain Crunch and just cardboard. And this one right here is just used sandpaper from my belt sander. when I was redoing my picnic table outside, that sandpaper is no good. It was still on my workbench when I was building today. So I said, "Oh, hey, that's perfect. I'm going to use that." So that's what I did. So it's just about, I think the biggest thing about when you start basically trash building stuff, there's tons of guys out there on YouTube that have really good setups for trash terrain building, and go watch them, because I don't do any of those videos because I don't have a good setup for it. And I'm so shotgun when I'm doing it. I'm all over the place. I'm just like, yes, do more stuff, throw stings, so it wouldn't be a very good video. But when you're trash building, I think the best thing you can do is you got to work on developing the eye. My wife actually calls it the eye. because I'll walk by something in the house and she'll see me and she'll go, "No, you can't make terrain out." I said, what? I was not. And she goes, "Yes, you were." And I go, "All right, but before we throw it away, let me see if I need it still."
Yeah. Well, I still have a broken heart from when I see you taking my childhood and turning it into terrain.
I did.
Old AT-AT. I have one sitting right over there. I
have one sitting right over there too, and it's a great drowned earth terrain.
I gotta hide that from Mac.
Well, okay, so for trash and just try cool. You just try stuff especially when you go to the Dollar Tree. You can't fail at the Dollar Tree. All of my drowned earth terrain has this really nice textured rust on it because it's supposed to be thousands or hundreds or 1,000 years after this apocalyptic event. So everything's kind of rusty, a little bit. Well, I didn't want to just paint rust, and I certainly didn't want to buy a bottle of rust texture for 3 tables worth of gigantic terrain to rust it up. So what I did was I bought cinnamon, just cinnamon at the Dollar Tree. And I took and painted. I would paint on the rust colors, and then I would sprinkle the cinnamon on it, and then I would paint over it again. I tried pre-mixing it, but that doesn't work. It turns too much into like a slurry that you would use to make a mud base. So it would work for that. But I sprinkled it all over, and then I sealed it all with matte spray, and it looks great. It's got physical texture to the rust, and my terrain smells good. Who can say that? Come on. My terrain smells like cinnamon. You put it on the table, people are like, "Are you making cookies?"
Yeah.
"Are you making cookies, bro?" Because that's awesome if you're making cookies. I'm like, "No, man, that's just my terrain." And Mike says, Pringles cans for huts. Man, Pringles cans are solid gold.
That's like a prime thing for Twilight right there, with a lot of their structures kind of have that look.
Dollar Tree gift boxes is how I did my Twilight buildings. They were the round gift boxes. Take the lid off, flip them over, put the lid on the top, so you have that textured, that little layer around the top. There's just so much you can do. Take an hour and go to the Dollar Tree and just walk around.
Even garage sales. If you live in an area that has a lot of garage sales, hit them up for those old toys that you can turn into some kind of train. Like some old space-like toy, totally fit in a sci-fi element,
There's so much stuff, and take it apart, and there's tons of bits. Todd says, "Am I saying other folks' terrain stinks?" Well, I'm not saying it stinks. I'm saying it doesn't smell good.
Depends how old that kitty litter is.
Well, that's true. That's true. And did they use it before or after? How cost effective were they really trying to be there? I don't know. But no, their terrain doesn't stink. It just doesn't smell like cinnamon.
It's not as festive as yours.
Exactly. Especially, around Thanksgiving, Christmas, having that nice cinnamon smell when you're playing your game. I don't know how we got to that, but that's the truth. I really did rust up my drowned earth stuff with cinnamon.
But basically what basing and our terrain talk comes down to tonight is that it doesn't have to be expensive. You can use whatever around, and it's kind of the third player. We've said this a lot of times, third player on the table. So it adds to the narrative. Have fun with it.
Absolutely. Cynthia said her kitty litter is super fresh. And Todd says recycled kitty litter, not a good idea.
Yeah.
I agree. Go spend that $1 at the Dollar Tree for that bag of kitty litter.
That's not a fallen tree. That's something else.
Oh, that's a good idea too. Mike said he knew a guy that took some clear plastic containers, put tape on it, spray textured paint over it, and then peeled the tape off to have windows. That's a good idea. I've done windows in a lot of my buildings, but it's mostly with the old blister packs. I'll use the old blister packs and cut, but it's a pain in the butt putting them in. That's a pretty good idea. I may actually even try that as I continue to work on our Necromunda board for first edition Necromunda. Just throwing that out there. We're playing first.
I just posted pictures of your book on the Facebook page.
Oh yeah, I just got the book in the mail today. Super excited about that. But it's your turn.
My turn?
Tonight. It is your turn, my friend.
Well, guys, that is going to be about it tonight. Thanks for joining us this Wednesday on Indie Invasion Shorts. We do it every week. So if you would like to join us in the live chat, please jump on. You know, we do this on our Facebook, YouTube, and we're trying to get it on Twitch and get that going so you guys can go back and watch. But if you guys are interested in some of the rest of our audio, you can find our podcast on Podbean, iTunes, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Stitcher, Spotify, and Pocket Cast, and basically anywhere you can find a podcast to listen to. Good chance we're on there. But also check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Discord for, you know, stuff we're working on. You guys, part of the community, can post stuff on Discord. We love seeing that interaction with the community on there. And if you have any questions about stuff or suggestions for us, feel free to email us at indieinvasion@gmail.com. We're always looking for new stuff, new games. And right there is the Discord link for you guys. Please go in there and join. It's been slowly growing the last couple months, and we love seeing all the interaction in there. Now, another place you guys can visit is the Coastal Town website. That's coastaltext.com. On that website, we have links to all these places I just mentioned, so you can have easy access to all the videos we're doing on YouTube, the audio stuff on the podcast, and we have links to our friends of the show, Tabletop Engineer, who's on here tonight, Jim. Woo! You can check out his Bexham's Bazaar and his free Christmas catalog of minis and RPG stuff. And yeah, that's a dangerous catalog, Jim, that you make.
So dangerous.
And we got Unipolar on there also, and Discover Games. So if you want to check them out.
Oh, but, wait. What? I owe Discover Games something from Monday night's hobby hangout.
Okay.
If you so this one's, I hope you're listening, Alan, or I hope you watch this later. Alan forgot the name of the show.
You throw him under the bus?
I told him I was going to throw him under the bus. He forgot the name of the show. So you can't go to Discover Games. Okay, it's not Discover Games. It's Buscover Games. Buscover Games. We got to say it wrong now because he forgot the name of the show. Okay, I now feel vindicated. We love you, Alan. We really do.
If you guys want to support what we're doing here on Indie Invasion, please visit us at Patreon, patreon.com/Indie Invasion. We appreciate the support, but you do not feel obliged to give. We have content on there for everybody to enjoy. So go check us out there. We appreciate the support. And something new for us, if you guys need something to put on your body or drink your coffee, we have a Redbubble store where you can get all kinds of different shirts, sweatshirts, comforters. I'm trying to think what other crazy things you put on there. Shower curtain.
Your wife can come home and go, what is Indie Invasion and why is it everywhere in my house?
But if you feel like you need a t-shirt to put on your body, please visit us at Redbubble Indie Invasion.
I had to throw Cynthia's comment up there. That's
okay,
right.
What's it? Yeah,
First edition. You guys are going to party like it's 1995. That's right. First edition Necromunda.
But that's about it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We've said it at the top of the show. Please like, subscribe, share. That's the best thing that can help us grow and get all these cool indie games out there and get the word out about these these passionate developers making these games. So
yeah.
But that's it, guys. So until next week and next time we talk to you guys, prepare for an invasion.